Always, come on, say it with me. You can do it because it feels right. Greetings and salutations, everybody. This is a very, very special evening and a very, very special interview because these individuals approached me on my channel, and I have yet to see a Brinkley interview with a couple such as Billy and Dwen who are having major issues with their Brinkley product. Now, I don't want to give away the farm, but man, there's some juicy tidbits that go along with this story, you guys. If you are a Brinkley fanboy or fangirl or a Brinkley supporter, that's awesome. I applaud you. But there's a different side that a lot of viewers and a lot of buyers and a lot of consumers don't know that goes on behind the scenes. And that's why I'm eager and anxious to introduce everybody to Billy and Dwen from Old Mass, Mississippi. How are you guys doing?
Doing well.
Good, thank you.
Liars.
refusing to allow it to depress us at this point.
Yeah, and you know what? That's good because, as you know, I had my share of problems too, and that's the whole thing. You know, mental acuity and keeping your wits about you is so key in these crucial times, especially with the issues that you're going through. I'm just going to start out by kind of turning the intro part over to you and Dwen. And if you would just share with us your first adventure, how you came to buy a Brinkley, what it was, and what you thought about that unit.
We have 6 children. So there's 8 of us. So we went shopping, and I knew that I wanted to spend $50,000 on a fifth wheel camper because that's what I had paid for my previous one. And we went to the RV dealership, and of course they didn't have any $50,000 campers. We saw the Brinkley off in the distance. My wife said, "Oh wow, that is pretty." And, you know, very nice looking.
Open up, Dwen. The skies opened up. The angels sang.
That's
Dwen's
right.
wings came out. She just, oh, that's the one.
That's it. That's exactly how it went. And then we walked inside of it, and it was absolutely gorgeous and unlike anything else out there. It was definitely a step above. Of course, the price was more than twice what I wanted to spend, but it fit us. It's a model 3610. It had the mid bunk. There was room for all the kids and kids to have friends every once in a while and all that good stuff. So we bought it and brought it home with us. That was actually our first 3610 Brinkley.
Sure. And that was when, Billy? I'm sorry to interrupt. That was when?
That was at the tail end of 2023. It was actually a 2024 model that we bought.
Okay.
Tail end of 2023.
2024 Z3610.
That's exactly right. That was the first one.
Okay. Got it.
Brought it home, made it ours, you know, with all of our dishes and everything, and went camping. It rained and water poured in the front, and I'll keep it short and sweet. It was hauled into the dealership at least 4 times by me trying to fix the leak. And then the dealership actually came and picked it up on the 4th or 5th time. I don't remember exactly. It was every time we used it, it would rain. And I would run out of towels. And if you can imagine having 6 kids, we have lots of towels. But every time it would rain, all the towels would get used on the floor in the master bedroom. Very quickly, I got a phone call from upper management, and they offered me $5,000 and an extended warranty to keep the unit. I apologize. They said, "We have 2 offers for you." They said, we'd like to offer you $5,000 and an extended warranty. And
now, this was after 4 times trying to fix it.
4 or 5 times, yes.
4 or 5 times. Okay.
And I said, "Okay, I appreciate that offer. What's the second offer?" And they said, "We have a brand new unit being delivered to the same dealership in about 45 days. Use your camper for the next 45 days. And when the other 3610 comes in, it's yours. We'll just swap it out like nothing ever happened." And I said, "Thank you so much for both offers. I graciously accept the second." I didn't.
Plan B.
Yeah, absolutely. I wasn't interested in having something that had that much water in it. And they did exactly that. They swapped the unit out. I was very impressed. I was very appreciative. It put us in a unit that didn't leak water every time it rained.
Yeah.
Um,
We'll call that one Billy's Ark.
There you go. That's exactly right. Yep. And that new unit is the one that I have now, is also a 2024. So, and I've had it for less than 10 months, or right at 10 months at this point.
Okay.
In that time frame, the air conditioning in the middle bedroom, and I, of course, sent you pictures. The air conditioning in the middle bedroom, I've hauled it into the dealership at least twice for that. The temperature fluctuates up and down so drastically, but nothing ever came of it. There was never a fix offered for it. It's just too much. So many different things were told to us. But regardless, nothing ever got fixed. And then there's a recall about the refrigerator catching on fire. That's a big concern. And I'm glad they caught it.
A good one.
But I'm glad they caught it and they have a willingness to fix it. That's wonderful. That's great. I appreciate that. The biggest problem that we've had, that was just at this point pretty much the icing on the cake, was a crack in the.
We're not talking about plumber's crack.
No plumber's crack.
Yeah,
no
okay.
plumber's crack. Right. No, this is a crack that runs from the slide out in the bedroom, the king size bed slide out, down at an angle towards the door where the control module, all the controls are for the water and sewer pipe and water hookup and all that.
Well, basically the off door side of the camper itself.
That's exactly right. Yes.
Okay. Got it.
I do a good job of maintaining my camper as far as washing it and cleaning it. Whenever I get to the campground, I always do a walk around just to be aware of what's going on. For Thanksgiving this year, we went to Orlando to Walt Disney World and we pulled the camper. And when we got down there, of course, I set it up. I did my walk around and that's when I found the crack. And the crack was about 2 inches at that point. And of course, I freaked out. I was like, what? It's not supposed to be like this.
Right.
I called Brinkley and they were very quick to call me back and to talk to me about it. They assured me that it was a cosmetic crack in the fiberglass. Well, I'm not an engineer, but I've been around construction long enough to know that it's not likely that it's a cosmetic issue. I was told that there was some adhesive or some glue that didn't stick properly and it allowed the skin to crack. And they used the term cosmetic a lot. So,
defer you away from what you thought might be a bigger problem. I'll go ahead and address the elephant in the room. Let's just put it out there for what it's worth. Everyone's concern with any crack in the fiberglass is frame flex, frame failure.
Yes.
We know that's a big issue going on in the industry, has been and still is at the time. So I'm assuming that's what you're referring to. I know we talked on the phone about it, that you're feeling like maybe this might be a bigger problem, but they're saying it's cosmetic.
Cosmetic. That was the term. That was the word used constantly. And they immediately offered to come and pick my camper up and bring it back to Indiana to do the repairs. And at face value, I was very appreciative. That's awesome. Thank you. I appreciate your willingness to do that. However, I don't want my brand new camper hauled all the way back to Indiana for a cosmetic repair. I'm in South Mississippi and there are 30 fiberglass repair shops within an hour of my house. I told him, I said, if it's just cosmetic, I'll bring it to a repair shop and have the work done. I'll pay for it. I'll send you the receipt and you can reimburse me later. That's fine. If it's just cosmetic and it's just fiberglass repair,
and it's superficial.
Everybody owns a boat or a shrimp boat in my area. I'll get it fixed locally. I don't want my camper brought to Indiana. That's not necessary, not for a cosmetic repair.
Yeah.
And they didn't like that. They didn't want that. They wanted to repair it in their facility. I'm not going to tell them no, but I did offer, let me just get it done locally because it's just cosmetic.
You have a million fiberglass repair shops that are darn good at your
Absolutely.
fingertips, but they didn't want you to
No.
take it into any of those.
Nope.
They want it back at the factory,
That's right.
which obviously begs the question, why?
Why? That's right. Yeah. So I authorized them to do that. I went out there after the camper had been sitting in the backyard for about a week and a half to 2 weeks, and the crack grew. The crack was now twice as long as it was originally, if not longer.
I saw the email, Billy,
Mhm.
in the email chain that you sent me, where the factory representative said, in the meantime, the crack may increase in size.
Mhm.
And
It
it
did.
did.
It did. It certainly
Just,
did. Yes.
just sitting there.
Not being used at all.
Your camper went back to the factory roughly when? Like how long ago?
I would say probably 3 weeks ago at this point, roughly.
Go ahead and enlighten the viewers like you did me with the photograph
Yeah.
that somehow came
So,
out of
yeah,
all the places that they're going to be adding metal to
a
the
lot,
frame.
a lot of metal. So originally I was told that there was a very small area of fiberglass that was going to be removed in the area where the crack was, roughly about 3 to 4 feet by 4 to 5 feet. That was the
Okay.
size of the fiberglass that was going to be removed for the repair. Um, so evidently there's a whole bunch of these that are in need of repair, and the manufacturer, the Brinkley, can't do them all fast enough. So they trained a facility right down the street from them that's an
Hey,
RV repair.
I have to interject here, Billy. I apologize. I'm like RV wingman Alan Warren. I'm good at interrupting, so forgive me.
No,
I
go
got to
ahead.
stay on a subject before I lose it.
Mhm.
Now, so this goes back to the factory
Mhm.
to get repaired. Now, are you telling me that they're only going to do this fix on one side of the camper where the crack is?
Correct.
Really?
Mhm.
Why would they only need repairing on that one side where the crack is when you've got the same either vacuum bonding or whatever system they use all the way around the camper on the front superstructure? Why do they have to address just that one side?
I don't know.
Hmm,
I don't know.
interesting.
All I'm told is it's cosmetic.
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 Okay. What's
So
interesting, Billy, is again, I promise I'll try not to interrupt after this one, but
no,
you struck a nerve. You sent me a video that Nate Goldenberg did, and he addressed the general public
Mhm.
about this issue, discussing frame flex, stressing that this is only cosmetic, etc. But on his video, he says this has only affected about 20 units.
Okay.
Did he not say that?
I believe he did. Yes.
Okay. Please carry on. I can't wait to hear the rest. Please let us
So
hear.
my camper was hauled up to Indiana, and right down the street, Brinkley trained a repair facility that is evidently in the same town right down the street, uh, how to do the repairs that they want
Okay.
done.
You have got to push them and tell them you want photographic evidence, either video clips. You want to see
Mhm.
what's going on with this quote cosmetic fix. And what was their response?
No, we're not going to be taking pictures of the welds. We're not going to be sending you pictures of the repairs or anything.
Bingo. With all of the experience I have had with problems of customers going back to the factories, no matter what the manufacturers are, that have exclusively been diagnosed with frame failure, frame flex, however you want to brand it, every one of those manufacturers will not allow photographic evidence. They won't allow, they'll let you come in at certain intervals on their terms to inspect what they're doing for repairs, and they'll tell you and they'll give you a list. But if this, listen, viewers, listen closely. If this is just a cosmetic fix and nothing more, why on earth would a manufacturer want to hide the repairs and not let anyone see what they're doing. That makes zero sense to me.
I think it's
Zero
also,
sense.
I think it's very important for me to point out, and I sent you a copy of the email. I did ask for in writing several things. I wanted to know what the measurements of the aluminum. And before we touch on that, I want to let you know that the picture that was sent to me, that was sent to me by the repair facility, not Brinkley. I was told that a very small 3x5 area of fiberglass was going to be removed just to get to where the crack is, to fix the bonding issue, the adhesive that failed or something along those lines. I got the picture from the repair facility of a 3610, just like mine, both slide outs, the bedroom slide out and the second bedroom slide out, all the fiberglass removed. And he highlighted all the additional metal being added to the side of my camper. And it's 20 or 21 pieces of metal being added all over the side of the camper.
Incredible.
At this point, I think it's important for me to say, at this point, I bought a new Brinkley. I didn't buy a rebuilt Brinkley. And now I have a rebuilt Brinkley, I feel. On top of the fact that I was told multiple times, to the point where it became aggravating, it's just a cosmetic repair. It's just that those words don't carry any weight, not after seeing what I've seen. The amount of metal being added, after I saw that picture, I sent in writing an email to my Brinkley rep. And I wanted to know the size of the tubing that was going to be used. I wanted to know the thickness of the tubing that was going to be used. I wanted to know if I could have pictures of the welds, if they were going to do 1 or 2-sided welds or full wraparound welds. And if they were going to do full wraparound welds, how were they going to do that with interior walls still in place? I asked for pictures because I wanted to inspect it for overheating and cracking at the welds or porosity in the welds. I'm concerned because this is way more than we signed up for. This is ridiculous. At this point, this is ridiculous. And that's when I got the email back, of course, that I forwarded you, that they're using 2x2. They don't know the thickness. They're not going to send me any pictures. And they're doing 2-sided welds, I believe. And my answer to that was, out of all the questions I asked, that's all I get. 2 answers and no, you don't have any pictures. And that was the extent of that conversation.
Yeah. And I remember him saying basically that, that's all the info I have to give you.
Yep.
So let's look at this logistically. They say this is a cosmetic problem, yet all these units, and I know for a fact it's more than 20. And I believe, if I recall correctly from the video that Mr. Goldenberg put out addressing the issue, which is good. Not trying to crack on that situation. It's good that they're addressing the problem, etc. But him saying that there's 20 units or so that go back to the factory so far, unequivocally for a fact there's way more than that, because Brinkley said, if I remember right, they can't handle the influx of all these units coming in. So they had to train in the Shipshewana RV place that we mentioned earlier. They won't allow photographic evidence of anything. They won't respond to your email stating why and what and where's this metal from, what's the thickness of it, how much of it are you welding in, why can't I have any photos, etc. People, let's be wise here. This all points to all the other manufacturers who are suffering from frame failure, frame flex, the same scenario. This makes no sense to me. I can't wrap my head around it. Call me crazy, but everything just seems to line up with, is this frame flex? That's the big question here. Is this frame flex? And they're not letting you get all the information that you need to cipher if this is actually frame failure. Because we all know in the RV industry, if this is frame flex and this is a Brinkley frame flex problem, what manufacturer out there wants to go public and say, we have a problem, we acknowledge the problem, we're going to recall all these units, we know exactly which ones are affected, etc. Because we all know the stockholders, the bean counters, the shareholders, this would cost $10s of millions. A lot. So Where are we sitting now, Billy and Dwayne? Where are we at right now in the process? 3 weeks later, where are we at?
It's in Indiana.
Still,
We just didn't sign up for this. We're on our second one, and it's cracked
In less than a year.
in less than a year. So while I know there are a bunch of people out there that absolutely love their Brinkleys, I want to say to them, I'm happy for you. That's awesome. I wish I was in the same boat you were.
I cannot tell you, and forgive me, Brinkley fan people, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings or step on your toes, but dozens of you, and I mean dozens of you on my channel, kept saying, hey, idiot, get a Brinkley. Go buy a Brinkley. They're the best. They don't have any problems. Yada, 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 on and on and on and on. You know, as Billy knows, and I think Dwayne knows too, you guys aren't the first one in line to talk to about Brinkley. I shared with you another gentleman whose name I can't divulge right now, who is going through major issues from his entire, both main frames underneath the camper C channels are bent 2 inches from his jacks failing. He had a fire while they were in the camper behind the refrigerator bay from faulty plumbing dripping onto those shitty RV connectors, and it arced and started a fire. I mean, this is just the tip of the iceberg with this poor guy. He's got to use his camper maybe a week out of a year. Faulty ABS modules on an ongoing basis, slide problems, wiring problems. And the worst part about it all, you guys, he owns an RV repair shop. And I'm not going to say where because we're planning an interview, but you know, for Billy and Dwayne here, I feel so. What do you want to see happen? What's your ultimate end game? What do you want to see happen?
I want out. I have wall separation in the second bedroom where the exterior wall, not 7 feet from where the crack is, that wall is separating. And you see that in the video with the caulk pulling off and barely hanging on in a little 1-inch spot. I have cabinetry pulling off the ceiling in the master bedroom all the way up at the front where right in the washer and dryer cabinet. I don't know why that's happening. I don't think it's supposed to.
You know what typically causes all those symptoms?
Brain flex.
Take
it back. Give me my money back. I bought $100 and something $1,000 fifth wheel camper. I could have gone out and bought a $30,000 camper and not had these problems. So it's hard. I can't accept it. And I'm on number 2, and number 2 is way worse than the first one. So in less than a year, I don't want anything extra. I want to be done. I don't want to deal with it anymore. I don't want to deal with Brinkley anymore. I don't want to deal with cosmetic cracks that require 20 pieces of metal to be welded in. I don't want to deal with fake flowery words. I don't want to deal with any of it anymore. Just give me my money back. That's it. Nice and easy. Never hear from me again.
You know, I want to clear up one thing too for the viewers out there watching this video. I know that Billy has discussed this with me on the phone multiple times and tonight on video, that Brinkley RV has been phenomenal at addressing, taking care of your issues as well as other customers along the way. I've heard that from many customers. But at the end of the day, why is it so freaking hard to just build a damn RV that you can grab your lovely bride and your 6 awesome children and go hit the American road and visit and make those memories and spend your hard-earned dollar on a camper that you can do that with, that's reliable, that you don't have to worry about catching on fire or breaking down, or how much money is this going to cost me, or lost camping trips, or a beautiful pavement princess that sits in your driveway because you can't use it. I don't think it's too much to ask for. And, you know, Brinkley, if you're watching, be a hero. Be a hero here. And buy Billy and Dwayne out. Let them out of it. If that's what you want, and by God, it sounds like you certainly deserve that and should get that, but they're telling you it's not an option. And I'll tell you why. it's because if they do it for you, they have to do it for a whole bunch of others.
It's not the same anymore. It's like a
It's
reworked
rebuilt.
reworked product. So
It's like you going to buy a brand new car, but it's got a rebuilt title.
I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
I mean, I'll admit that's amazing that Brinkley stepped up and handed you a camper to replace the one that you purchased. That's awesome.
It was.
It's not awesome that it's worse off than your first one.
It should have a title. It should have a salvage title on it.
Yeah.
It should say lemon on the title or something like that.
Yeah.
When you have to take half of it off and add a whole bunch of metal to it.
I deeply appreciate you guys taking the time to talk. And I truly, truly hope that Mr. Goldenberg and the crew at Brinkley does the right thing and wants to look like heroes and gets you bought out from that unit. And from the future, whatever that looks like, only you guys can decide. But again, I really appreciate you guys coming on to talk tonight. And I will absolutely do my best to help advocate for you and get the word out that all those that thought Brinkley is all that, a bag of chips and the whole damn party mix, just is not quite what it comes out to be. Again, I applaud them for stepping up to take care of people's problems. But the bottom line is there shouldn't be this many problems. Yeah. And I'm sure everybody else is going to want to know.
Certainly.
Whatever happened with Brinkley and Billy and Dwayne and the kids. Really curious what's going to happen.
We look forward to it.
Absolutely. Brinkley, do the right thing, guys. Give them their money back on that camper. Make them whole again. Make them whole again so they can continue this American dream and make those memories with their kids and get out there and still RV. Yeah. So until next time, you guys, thanks for tuning in. As always, see ya.